EndNote now. So we'll go through how to use EndNote kind of step by step together, and then there's an exercise for you to do as well. So let me just check really quick on the machine. I'll make sure that the Microsoft Word is set up correctly with this. Okay. All right, it should be all good. So what we'll do is we'll do the EndNote first, and then when we go to Mendeley, we'll have to install a Word plugin for Mendeley to work properly. But right now, EndNote is all good. So I will show you how to use it to manage your citations. So the first thing you want to do is, hopefully you should find somewhere on your desktop the EndNote 8. So do you see this icon, EN? So go ahead and double click that, and it will open, and it should show you kind of a gray screen. If it asks you to download and install, you can just say cancel. All right.
Is anybody having trouble finding EndNote?
So it's on the desktop. It'll be on your desktop somewhere, and it's just here. It's just a blue circle with the white letters EN in the middle. Okay. Once you have the library open, we have to create our first EndNote library. So if you're doing this on your own laptop or PC, you'll want to make sure to save your EndNote library somewhere that's where you know where you'll be able to find it again. So you might save it in your documents file, or if you want, you can save it on a flash drive or hard drive if you want to come and use EndNote on campus. So go to File and then New. And then this is where it's going to ask you, it'll call it My EndNote Library, and it'll ask you to save it somewhere. So this is where you could either select your flash drive or hard drive on the left-hand side. For us, we'll just save it on the desktop today, because this will just be our sample library. But if you have a flash drive with you and you'd like to save it on the flash drive, go ahead and plug the flash drive in the computer now. And wait till it comes up then here, where it says this PC, and you'll just have to wait until you see the flash drive come up, and then just click on the flash drive and you'll click Save. So if you're saving it on the desktop, that's fine too. Just click Desktop and then click Save. So, but it's good if you save it on a flash drive, or if you're saving it on your laptop, just make sure you know where you save the file, so that if you ever open EndNote again and it doesn't come up right away, you can select your library. Okay. All right, so I'm just picking desktop. Once your flash drive comes up, you'll pick your flash drive, not desktop. And then you can just leave it My EndNote Library and click Save. And then instead of a blank gray screen, you'll see this window come up. And so this is your EndNote library where you'll save the citations and also be able to cite directly to a Word document from here. So let's see if I can make this bigger. Oh, not really. Okay. So does everybody have this window open? Yeah? All right. So there's two ways to add references into the library. The first one, you can actually add one manually. So let's do one together. In your handouts, there is two things on EndNote. There's this EndNote quick guide. This goes into like very great detail on using EndNote. I'm going to show you the basics of just getting the citations in today and then using Word. And you should also have EndNote learning activities, so pull this one out now because we'll add one of the references manually from this document. Okay, so it's just a one-page sheet that says EndNote learning activities. So you may have to add a reference manually from time to time, like actually type in the citation. If you're using a print book, obviously there's no magic way to import that. If you're using Proquest, don't worry, we can always just import the citation directly from Proquest. So let's do this first one here where it's a book. So we will say that this is a book we're using for our list of references. And this is how you add a new reference. It's the second button across from here. If you hover over it, it says New Reference. So go ahead and click that button. So you'll see when this new screen comes up, this is how you add a reference manually, where you type in this information. Right now it says reference type journal article, so we're going to pull the drop-down menu and select book, because this is a book. And if you notice, there's like a whole long list of types. So if you ever have an information source where it's not a book or a journal article, just pick the correct one. So for now, pick a book. And this will automatically adjust these fields here to just be the ones that you need to enter in for book. And so this helps where if you have a little bit of working knowledge of APA referencing, you know that you need things like the title, the author, the year, the publisher, and the place of publication. Those are the basic things for a book reference. So go ahead, type in the author's name. For the author, you can just type it in as written, so Jane Chan from this document. And then you can just press enter to go to the next line once you've entered Jane Chan. And then the next one is Josephine Ryan. I'm not sure why the example has a comma, so just leave that off. So just type the author's names. And then you can just go in and type in the rest of the information. So the year is 2014. And you'll see the title on the document, Successful Teacher Education. Okay, and then the last bits is the place of publication, New York, and the publisher is Sense Publishers. Okay. So it's also important, like, you type it in accurately and also typing in the author's name, so you can always just type the first name, last name, and EndNote will automatically pick the last word you typed there as the last name when it does your automatic citations. Okay, so when you're done with that, you can click the X in the window at the top. Don't X out your whole library, just click this X here for this window, and it'll ask you if you want to save it, and you click yes, save it. And so now you should see at the top your first reference saved. So that's all it is to enter one by hand, like to do it manually. So if you have any books or articles, if you have a journal article that's just printed out in front of you, just click on this new reference button, select journal article from here, and then type in the information. For the journal article, you'll need to type in the journal and the volume and all of those things. So we won't do the journal right now. We'll save that. You can do it on your own for the exercise. So you can also import citations from Google Scholar and Proquest and the different databases. So at the same time, let's open up our browser again. So Google Chrome. And we'll go back to the library website and the databases, right? And from the USP library website, click on databases and we'll go to Proquest all databases. Okay, so you can just run a quick search again. You don't have to do the full advanced search or anything like that. I'm just going to do the same one I was doing before. You can use your own topic because this is going to be for your own EndNote library. And then just click search. Okay, so everybody has a list of results. Okay, so you can take citations one at a time and import them into EndNote. You can also check off the boxes next to the articles and you can pull multiple ones at once into EndNote. So I'm going to pick a few of these articles. Let's say these are the relevant articles for my search, 1, 3, and 4. And then the last time when we were doing this, we used the Cite button, right? This time we're going to click on Save, because Save is what will take it into the EndNote library. So click on Save. Everybody there? And then the one that we want to use for EndNote and also for Mendeley is called RIS. So you know how normally for like a Word document you have .docx, that's the file extension. The file extension that works with EndNote is .ris. So we're just saving a file, like downloading any file on the computer. So click RIS, and you'll see a little box come up. You can just say continue, and it'll say request in progress, and it'll download the information from those 3 citations. And if you're using Google Chrome, you'll see your download right here, just like when you download a PDF file or anything else. So click on your thing, just click on that file at the bottom, and it should automatically pull them into EndNote.
Can we go over that again? Some people didn't have that up.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's go over it one more time. So do you guys have some search results in Proquest? Yep. Okay. So I'll go over exporting it one more time so we can get everybody on board. So this is our search results list. You can take multiple citations at once. So I'll just select 1, 2, 3. And then once you've ticked the boxes, sorry? Yes, then you click on Save. So it's this Save button, like right above the articles here. Click on Save. And then you select RIS. So the RIS is the one for EndNote. And it says works with EndNote, so you don't have to memorize it, it'll just say that. But it's good for you to know it's an RIS file. So click there. A little box will come up that says items selected, 3 items. And it also shows us that it's going to save the citation, the abstract, and indexing for us. Click continue. And then it'll download the information. So once you've gotten to this point, just click on the download at the bottom if you're using Google Chrome. Okay? Do you see the download here in the bottom of the window? Click there, and it should, if you have EndNote installed on your laptop or you're using it in the computer lab, it'll automatically pull it in for you. So now when you go to your EndNote library, you should see under this blue imported references that there's 3 articles, or however many you selected. You can do this with individual articles as well. So if I hadn't checked the boxes and I just click on the first article title, there's the save button here as well. So instead of clicking on cite, which just gives the citation reference there, you just click on save. Okay? So for anything that you find in Proquest databases, this is the process. Okay. So is everybody okay on importing from Proquest? All right. I will show you Google Scholar as well today because we've gone over that one, right? So if you have your Google Scholar still up, that's great. Otherwise, type in scholar.google.com. And again, just bring up some search results on your topic. Okay. Click search. Okay. All right. So that's just scholar.google.com. Do your search. And then the citation button here is this little quote marks in blue that's underneath the article. Can everybody see that okay? Okay. So click on that little citation marks. Just like the video that Martin showed, it'll show your citation formatted already for you. So if you were just copying and pasting, you could do that. If not, click on our EndNote button right at the bottom. So almost every database that you use, the ones that you'll learn about in the other scattered sessions throughout the semester, it has some kind of button for RIS or save or cite. It just is different depending on each one. So click on EndNote, and it'll automatically show you the little download right here. So just click the downloaded file. Yeah. Okay, I'll show you one more time too. Okay, so here's our search results in Google Scholar. Everybody got a few things? Click on the little citation quote button. I'll just make this a bit bigger so you can see. It's this little outline of quotes right underneath the article. Click on that, and you'll see at the bottom of there, you'll see EndNote. So you'll just click EndNote. And I like to use Google Chrome because you can always just see the downloaded files right at the bottom. You just click on this one. This one says ENW, but it works with EndNote, so it's no problem. Just click on this one, and it'll import into EndNote. Okay, so let's take a second. I want you, before we do the Microsoft Word, like the referencing in Word, just the second journal article, and just remember what we've just done. Type in the journal article manually, like add the manual reference, which is on this page 1.2. And then I want you to go to Google Scholar and Proquest and just get one article from each and do another one on your own. And then we'll go on to the Microsoft Word part.
If you have any trouble, just raise up your hand.
Exactly. We'll just come by and just help you out. If you're good, then just continue your research. Go back to that Proquest search that you did before. If you had some good search results, start pulling those articles into your EndNote library. Okay, so everybody can just finish up and then look up here once you finish the last thing. Okay, so now you should have quite a few references in your library from the ones that we did as examples and then the ones you've just added now. If you look on the left-hand side here, and once again, I know it's pretty small to see, but if you'll always have the folder imported references. It'll show you the one that you've just last imported, and then above it you'll see all references. So if you're getting confused like, oh, where did it go? It'll always show everything you've imported under all references, And you can also create groups, which are like file folders, so you can also further organize your library. So you can just right-click on My Groups in the left-hand side. Just right-click and then say Create Group. So this is just like creating a file folder. So go ahead and title it whatever project you're working on, if it's for a paper or your thesis or your literature review. I'll just call mine Lit Review. And then you just click Enter when you're done typing it. So that was just right-click on My Groups, click on Create Group, and then just call your file something. Okay, so then you can click on All References, and you can just left-click on any of the articles, and you could drag and drop it into the folder. So I've just clicked on All References at the top, left-click on the article that you want to put into the group, and then just left-click and hold it down, and then drag it over into the folder. And then you should see the number go up next to your folder, to your group, when you've gotten it over. So one more time, if you don't have it, look up really quick so I can show you. Left-click onto one of the articles, left-click and hold the mouse button down, and you should have a little thing show next to your cursor, and drag it over to the folder, and just drag and drop it into the folder. Okay? So that's something you can use. If you continue at USP and you're using EndNote, you can make other groups as well for other assignments and things that you're working on. So all of your references will always stay under All References at the top, but then you can also click on your groups to see what you're doing for those things. Okay. So if everybody's good with that, what we'll do next is the Microsoft Word, the referencing part. So this is all just organizing your research, organizing your topic, but then the cool thing is the referencing, right? So let's open a Microsoft Word document. You can just do search windows, just click on the little search button down here on the bar and just type Word. That's the easiest way to get to it, I think, in this Windows 8. And then just open a Word document. And then from there, we just open the blank document. Okay. So you'll notice whether you're using a laptop or you're using the PC on campus, there's a tab in the top ribbon that says EndNote 18, right? X8. So this is where you will be able to manage your citations and things like that. So the first important part is that from your EndNote library and Microsoft Word that it's an APA style. So we'll just be switching between the EndNote library and the Word document at the bottom here. So open your EndNote library, make sure it's still there, and in this drop-down box at the top where it says annotated for like an annotated bibliography, click on APA 6th edition. And then you need to do the same thing in Word. So then flip over to your Word document, and the style in Word should say APA 6th. So those should always match. But the one that really matters is in Word as well, that it says APA 6th edition. So there's two ways to put the in-text citation in the references list. There's one way that you can just copy and paste a references list onto a document. And then there's also a way that you can do your in-text citation whenever you do a quote or a paraphrase from an author, and then it'll do your references list for you. So it's called Cite While You Write. So, so let's say that we've written a sentence and we're typing our sentence, and we've paraphrased something from one of our author's papers, so we need to give them credit. We do the in-text citation. I'll just make this a bit bigger so you can see. So this is my sentence, and we need to put the author's last name and then the year, right? So open your EndNote library, and I'll go to All References, and I'll pick my first one. And then the other button that you need is this insert citation at the top. So it's like two little quotation marks, just like how it was on like the Google Scholar. And all you have to do is click it. And then that's the magic part, right? Okay, I'll show you one more time, no worries. So this is my Word document. I put the cursor, like I put the mouse cursor, I'll just scroll down a bit. I put it in the document exactly where I want the in-text citation to come up. So don't put it at the bottom of the paper, put it where you want the citation. Click on your EndNote library and left click so that it's in blue selected the reference that you want to insert. And then the button to press is right here at the top. It's like a little tiny, it looks so tiny on the screen, but it's the one that's kind of in the middle and it has the quotation mark. You see it?
Which one?
This one.
This one?
Yes.
Did everybody see that?
Okay, so that's the important one. If you hover over it, it'll say, it shows you, if you just hover over the buttons without clicking, it shows you what each one does. This one is insert citation. If you don't see it, just raise your hand and someone will come and show you. So, all right, so here's my second one. I need to insert the citation. I click the button. So do a second one as well. It'll insert the in-text citation. And then if you notice, it also starts putting in the full references list here. So the one thing you need to look at with APA style is that some of the capitalization and things like that might not be exactly correct because it just pulls the information in from Proquest or Google Scholar or whatever. So one thing I've noticed about APA style is, you know, the first letter of the title is capitalized, but the rest should be lowercase. And then after any colon like this, it should be a capital there. So with that, you would have to go into your EndNote library and just edit the title in the reference so that it shows up properly. So let's do that really quick. If you see any mistake or thing that you need to change, like I can see too with this one I pulled in, Successful Teacher Education, these need to be lowercase. So we need to go back to our EndNote library and make a change. So open your EndNote library and I'll show you how to edit any of the references that have come in from Proquest. So open your EndNote library and just double click on the reference that you want to edit. And it'll just bring up how we had manually input the reference and you can make your changes. So I'm just changing the capitalization because I want it to be exactly in APA style. So you can just edit the capitalization. And then to save again, you just click the X for that one and click save. Or I think you can do Control S and it should just save. But it doesn't close then. Okay. So once again, to edit any reference, you just double click on the reference. It'll open up the thing so that you can make any changes. So if you notice a misspelling or something not capitalized correctly, you just have to change it in EndNote. So then to change it in our document, because if you notice this, obviously it hasn't been updated, there's a button at the top, so whenever you make a change in your EndNote library, right underneath APA 6th edition in the Word document, click Update Citations and Bibliography. So you could even change your entire style to Harvard or something, and you just click Update Citations and Bibliography, and it'll update the whole document for you at once. So now in my Word document, my capitalization is correct in APA. So, you know, take it with a grain of salt. It's great that we can import from Proquest, but you still want to have a little knowledge of APA style or use that libguide so that you know it's doing the right thing. Okay. We can also edit the way the in-text citation displays. So for some, you just need the year. If you have written a sentence like, according to, let me look at my references. According to Varnell, education is best when a parent is involved. So if you actually write the author's name in text, right, you just have to include the year next to their name. You don't need to put their name again and then the year. So I believe it goes right after their name, but I'm trying to remember. So you put your cursor exactly where you want the in-text citation. You go to your EndNote library. This is the Varnell article, and click Insert. But it's not going to know automatically to take out the last name, so we have to edit the in-text citation. So to edit or delete any of our in-text citation in the Word document, just left-click onto the citation. So select one of the citations in your Word document, just left-click once, and it should highlight the whole citation in gray like that. So you can pick anyone, just pick one that you have randomly hanging out, or click on the one we just entered. And then from there, if you have your citation selected, there's one that says Edit and Manage Citation in the top left on your EndNote ribbon. So it's right here under Edit and Manage Citation. Okay, everybody have that? So just click on Edit and Manage, and it'll bring up a little menu for you of all three of the citations that I've put in. So if you've put one or two or three, you should see all of them, and the highlighted one is in blue. So for the one that's highlighted, the Varnell one, right now it says under Edit Citation, the formatting says default, which is just the last name, comma, year. So we will change it to, I believe, display as author year. No. Just exclude author. So change it to say formatting, exclude author, and then click OK. And then your citation will display correctly, the in-text citation, and you still have your full reference here in the references list. So this references list, as you work, you can just leave this at the end of your document. Wherever you put this, though, in the document, if you space it to somewhere, EndNote will still automatically know to keep adding and alphabetizing this list. So if this was the end of our document here, and we've finished, we can just space this to the next page until it goes on the next page. And then at the top, the only thing you would do is need to add a space and center the word references over it. Okay? So even if I add another reference up here, if I add another in-text citation and I've cited it here, it'll still know to come and put that citation in the references portion of the document. So unless you do something really weird with your formatting or do too much backspacing or something, it should always be okay. But if you have an issue, you can always come to the library, and myself or Vasidi can help you try to figure out what went wrong. So the other thing that's good to know is deleting the citation. So if we want to take one away, you just left click on the citation, go to EndNote 8 at the top, click Edit and Manage, and then where there's this little drop-down menu, let's try to delete one of them. So click the down arrow where this reference is selected, and then you'll have to click on Remove Citation. So this is the proper way to remove it rather than backspacing. If you backspace it, it might confuse the program. So again, to get rid of an in-text citation, which will also remove it from your references list at the bottom, you just left click on the citation, click Edit and Manage, and then you don't click Edit Reference because that will take you over to the EndNote library to edit the actual text of the reference. Just click the down arrow and click Remove Citation and OK. And it will just disappear off the document. All right, so do you want some time to practice with the Microsoft Word, or do you feel confident in that process? I can't hear what you're saying. You want to practice just inserting a few more, and I'll just walk around and if you're having any issue. So try doing one where it's the author year like this. Make sure you can edit one. Try inserting some just normally. And you might also click on it and do edit and manage and play around with the other types of formatting as well, just to see what it does. So we'll just take 5 to 10 minutes for that, and I'll just walk around. If you are okay on this, you can always go back to your Proquest search and look for some more articles to add to your EndNote library. All right, if you all could just look up here for a second, I'll show you one more thing about EndNote. And then if you want, we can take just like a 10-minute break just to use the facilities and whatnot. And then we'll just come back and do the Mendeley, which is actually, I think Mendeley is easier a little bit than EndNote, but I wanted to show you this one first. So in EndNote, again, it's available to you as a USP student. You have to go to the ICT help desk downstairs and just make an appointment and they'll install it for you. So, but this 18th edition, it's also in all the computer labs, so you can also just take your flash drive and use it at a computer lab. Or they'll install it on your laptop because you're a post-grad student. Okay? The last thing I wanted to tell you, and it's in this guide, everything I've talked about today is in this guide in detail with screenshots. So if you forget how to do it and you go back to it later, it's all in this guide. But it's just a lot of paper to look through. The last thing I wanted to show you that you can do with EndNote, which is actually much easier in Mendeley, but there is an option for it. If you look at the very top of one of your references, if you have your reference highlighted here, you'll see that there's a little paperclip button in the right-hand window above your reference information. So just click on one of your references. If you have the PDF of the article that you've saved on a flash drive or on your laptop somewhere, you can just click this and insert the PDF so it will show up in this window. So it's up to you if you want the PDF to also be in here to organize your research. You can save the PDF from, you know, any website or anything. Just use the attach button, just like saving an email attachment. So I'm not going to demonstrate it because it's basically just like taking a document from your documents file. You can just tap that button and it should bring up like a browse feature. So if you want to add a PDF file into the library, you just click on there. It'll ask you to find the file. You just click the file and say OK. So let me see if there's any PDF files in here. Oh, there is something. No, there isn't. Okay, but yeah, just so you know that that's there, you just click on it, find your file that you want to attach, wherever you've saved the PDF file, and click on it and say open. And then all it does is it saves it in Mendeley or EndNote as well so that you can see it in the window there. So it'll all be in one place. But if you don't want to go through the extra step of attaching, saving it, downloading, saving it, and then attaching it, you don't have to either. You can just maintain your own file of PDF files. Okay.